Hi, today I want to look at DxO's PhotoLab, and we're going to explore the photo library functions of PhotoLab and try and explain to you a bit about what the program does, what you can use it for, and how it could be useful in your workflows as a photographer. I've been using DxO PhotoLab now for approximately 6 years, and I wanted an alternative to Adobe's Lightroom, as I had reached the point where I wasn't happy with the licensing, I wasn't happy with the colors I was getting, I wasn't happy with the fact that in my time as teaching as a photographer, I'd had a lot of issues with the catalogs corrupting. While I found ways around some of that, I still wanted a program that didn't rely on a catalog to manage and work with the images. And that's where DxO's PhotoLab came into play. And I tested a lot of software, and I would have gone for Capture One Pro at one point, except it also requires a catalog, and I was trying to get away from a catalog, so that's why I ended up with PhotoLab. This is the library module section of PhotoLab, and we're going to explore through it. I'm going to walk you through some of what you can do with it. I'm not necessarily going to show you a workflow that I use with it, because that will also then involve a round trip into the customize section, and that would take a lot longer video than what we're planning on doing today. So to start with, you've got the Nik Collection, which some of you may know what the Nik Collection is. You can click on a button here and bring up any of the Nik plugins and export out to do something with the file in the Nik Collection. With the export button, you can press export here, or keyboard shortcut Command K, which will bring up this dialog box, which gives you the option of making or creating recipes for various processing formulas that you might want. So it can be exported out as TIFFs, JPEGs. One thing I would recommend if you are creating recipes, that, for instance, I've got a website one and I've got one for my tablet, which are both JPEG files. So if you are doing this, you want to make sure that you are going to start using subfolders, and I export always to my desktop so I can find them and then put them into a subfolder. The reason for that is that if I was exporting an image for my TIFF and then one for my website, I want to be able to find them on the desktop without having the program overwrite the ones that I've already just exported. So it's good practice to write to a subfolder on your desktop. In this case, I've got a TIFF file here that I do not have a subfolder set up for, because with the subfolder set up, with this recipe for TIFF, for example, I don't have a subfolder set up, is because I have only one TIFF selected. Anytime you have a blue dot selected, that will mean that that is active when you use the control. So anytime within PhotoLab, if you see a blue dot, that means whatever that is controlled by is active at any time. So I'm not exporting at the moment, so let's just go to cancel, and we'll go through a couple of the other features in here. This is your basic interface. It's scalable. I can move things around by just grabbing the bar to slide things up and down. I can take the left folder bar away by sliding away. I can move the right. You've got the ability to go from image size here to a compare, and you can choose how you're going to compare depending on different ways of looking at the image, so you can then see your before processing and after processing. I'm going to turn compare off for a minute. You've got the ability to see the image at full screen and 1:1, so you can see 100% pixels. When I'm in this mode, I just drag my cursor, click on the pad, and I can just move it around to see around the image and see what's happening within the image. Click back to go there. You can also view it at a variety of resolutions. I can use this to go from one image to the next image, to move forward and back. I've also got a bin so I can delete them if I want to. On the right side, I have all my metadata. So I've got my histogram, hide that. I've got keywords which are showing up there. I've also got my metadata which displays the EXIF data. IPTC contact details, content details. I've then got a variety of things put inside, and I can move around between them. Now I can also, so this image actually has some keywords put in place, the next image does not. So I can come here, click on the image, go up to the menu, image, paste metadata, which we've just copied. I can then put any of this information. I can select it, or I can paste all of it, and it will add it to the file that I've just selected. So I can change metadata very quickly and very easily. If it's relevant from one image to the next, I can make whole selections and then apply to every image. So just image, paste all metadata. On the left side happens to be the magic of what I think PhotoLab does very well, in that I can point this computer at any folder, and because I've just selected a different folder from a Ricoh GR4 camera, which has never, I've not actually downloaded the profile and lens profile, it automatically pops up this missing dialog box, which then allows me to download that profile for this camera into the program. The advantage of this is that if I've got cameras that are not in my database, that I haven't downloaded the files, it shows up here. I can download, and then once that's done, I don't have to see it again for that particular camera. The advantage of this is that DxO uses profiling to work out how the lens and the camera are drawing the image. The advantage of having the lens modules, which is section here under modules, is that if there are missing modules, they will automatically show up and tell you that you're missing them. And you can actually see all of your modules by the manage, and you can see how many DxO have managed to work on. So I'm not going to go into it now, but that's effectively one of the secret sources to making PhotoLab work very well. You have the ability when you're in a folder, and I'm just going to slide this up so you can see. So I've got all of these images have star ratings on them. Some of them have 2-star ratings, some of them have 1. I don't think I put any with 3 on them. So what I can do then is I can come up into this menu bar in the center. I can then come here and sort by 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So I can sort by stars, I can sort by labels, I can sort by whether they're picked, untagged, rejected, and many other aspects of the program. The other thing that is really interesting here is everything here has a grey background. Light grey when it's selected, darker grey when it's not. However, you'll notice here I've got a blue background to these two images. What this is telling me is that I have a virtual copy of this file. So one of 2 is the original with the M on it, and the copy has a 1 on it. Now, what that means is that when I've processed it, I might have made some changes different in a virtual copy to the original. To get rid of a virtual copy, all I have to do is right-click on the image and go to remove, or Command X to remove it. And then that will give me the choice of whether I want the virtual copy removed or not. When it's gone, you'll notice that the original goes back to being a grey coloured background. So it's very simple to work with. The other advantage with this is, as you can see, I've got my folders. I've got a project drive with my archive all buried inside it. And within there, I've got everything arranged by year. And I've got a project, for example, that I've been working on for multiple years, and I'm going to select an image or a folder from 2015, click on that, and that brings up that file. As you can see, I've got my catalogue all arranged by year, by month, by project. Now, the problem will be is that when I go to try and edit this project, which is over multiple years, I'm going to have to search through multiple folders to be able to edit it. To get around that, DxO has this area called projects. So I'm going to create a quick project, create a new project, and I'm going to call this city because it was photographed in the City of London. Create. Now, as you can see, I've got a project folder now here called City with nothing in it. I then come back up to my city project. I'm going to select all the images from that and just drag them and drop them onto my city folder. I'm then going to open another random folder from 2017. Click on February. There's another folder from my city project. Do another select all, and then I'm going to scroll down to my project and drop those in. And you'll see that all the images now from that project happen to live inside project folder. So it means that I can now start editing this project based on multiple folders and all the images made from that project within a project folder. From our folders, which contain all of our images, you can see everything here. We have then got the ability to then switch from OneDrive to the computer. So at the moment I've got a folder on my desktop which is holding my tutorial files, so I can see how I can go through, and it just jumps from one folder to another. I can also create favorites, so if there are folders that I want to find and use all the time, I can click on this main folder and add to favorites. I can show in favorites. I can then see any folder very quickly within the favorites, and that's a way I would recommend working. So you can then switch between folders very quickly, very easily, and add or subtract folders if you decide you don't want them removed. You can also, when you're in a folder, just to give you an example, I'm going to click on an image from this project. I had to come out of full screen mode so that you can see. So if I click on a picture, any picture randomly, and right click, reveal in Finder, and that will then bring up a folder showing me where that file is and highlight the file for me. So it's already selected. The other thing that is really nice when I do a right click is it allows me to create the virtual copies. It allows me to use an image as a reference. It allows me to add it to a project. I can create a project from a current selection, so all of that will add to the projects folder. I can also use my metadata, so if I've made changes to an image, I can copy that metadata. I can also, with the right clicks, choose to set picked, tagged, rejected, set the color labels or ratings if I don't want to use the keyboard shortcut of 0 to 5. And I can even copy my correction settings. If I've processed an image in one, I can then copy it across, and I could also choose presets, all applied from within the photo library section. So it's very sophisticated and very easy to learn. So if you have any further questions on DxO's photo library section of PhotoLab, please drop a comment in the question below, and I'll do my best to either make another video or answer your questions about those aspects as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Goodbye now.